So the vision of Unsung Heroes Month is that we are looking for unsung heroes, which are basically missionaries, churches, organizations, anyone that's doing kingdom-based work who could potentially host a future mission team from Adventures in Missions. So our team was dropped in Namibia with no host, no contacts, just basically asking the Lord to point us to who He wanted us to meet. So we started our month in Swakopmund, Namibia. We traveled to Walvis Bay, and right now we are in Windhoek finishing up our month.
It's exciting.
Wild.
Chaotic.
Whoa. Freedom.
Hashtag blessed. So the Lord abundantly blessed Team Covenant this month in Unsung Heroes. And to paint a picture of what that looks like, we wanted to share a couple of stories with you from our first few days.
So it's 7 a.m. and we're staying at this amazing guest house that we all stayed at for debrief. And our task for the day is to find housing for the rest of however long we're in Swakopmund. And normally we stay with our hosts, but since this month we're Unsung Heroes, we don't have a host and we don't have housing.
So that morning, we were eating breakfast, and Lisby, who is the guest house manager, comes down and she comes up to us and she says, "Girls, I would like to offer you an opportunity to stay here at your budget price," which we came to find out it was actually like 80 or 90% less than what the room goes for normally. So we were staying in this beautiful guest house, and we were like, of course, absolutely, that'd be amazing. And then she's like, oh, also, we would like to offer you in-house meals prepared by our gourmet chef named Robbie for your budget price as well. So we got two huge blessings just in the first few hours on our first day.
So we decided to go down to the beach to have some prayer and worship, to thank God for our provisions and to ask Him what we should do for the rest of the day.
So we were all in a circle, closing our eyes and just singing and worshiping. And then all of a sudden, three men walk up and say, "Hey," and we're all like, "Yeah?" Like, it was actually kind of creepy at first.
So one of the men explained to us that as they had been driving down the road, he just felt like the Holy Spirit was telling him that he needed to pull over and talk to us. He had been specifically praying about what to speak about at a youth meeting at a local church that evening, and he just felt like the Lord telling him that this was going to be an answer to prayer.
This is crazy. He has absolutely no idea who we are, or the fact that we were praying for something to do today, let alone the fact that we're 6 missionaries with nothing on our calendar.
And the more he kept talking, the more we were laughing because it was just so much of the Lord. Like, he talked about the EE3, which we were just trained in for evangelism. And also he wanted us to talk on identity, which identity has been my word for 2016, which is so the Lord, and it was so cool.
So we told the guys that we would love to help them lead their youth meeting that night, and then we invited them to worship with us. So after the morning's events, our team kind of ran into a little bit of a holdup. We thought that it was really amazing. These strangers came up to us with an answer to our prayer, but we also kind of had to touch into our level of discernment and decide if it was really wise to be getting in a strange car with strange men, going to a strange place in a strange country. So our team really thought about it and we prayed about it a lot. Personally, I prayed that the Lord give me explosive diarrhea and vomiting if these men were gonna be not good. And after praying about it and not getting sick, we felt that the Lord was still impressing upon us that it was of Him and to go. We decided as a precaution to take taxis separate from the men so that we were just being extra careful and wise.
So we take taxis to the church, and immediately we start to feel peace because the building is beautiful, it's well lit, and there's a lot of sound equipment. And at the beginning of the service, they start playing one of my favorite songs from Zambia, I Know Who I Am. And it was just a beautiful sign from the Lord that that's where we were supposed to be.
So they had each one of us go up front and share a small part of our testimony. So we did that, and then they kind of put us on the spot and asked us to sing 10,000 Reasons, which we had sang earlier that morning on the beach. So we sang it, but we sounded super angelic, and we had a great 3-part harmony going, and Then the band joined in, and the whole congregation stood up and sang with us, and it was beautiful.
Then Maria and Nicole had prepared a talk on identity that they had planned to share with the youth meeting. It was wonderful. It went so smoothly. They just played off each other and just really let the Spirit speak through them, and I think it was really well received. After that, we just kind of found ourselves in a big circle with, 50 youth and their leadership team, praying and singing songs and some random song in Afrikaans we'd never heard. And then they anointed us with canola oil, and it was beautiful, and they prayed for us, and we loved it.
The people at the church immediately engulfed us into their community. They were already asking us to do ministry with them the next day at 6 a.m. They offered to give us a ride home for free, which was incredible. They just blessed us in so many ways. It was awesome. Wow, what an amazing first day of Unsung Heroes! It's day 2 of Unsung Heroes Month, and we wanted to come together as a team to ask the Lord what He had in store for us that day. So all of us got together and we played some worship music and we were praying. And during my time of prayer, I just kept getting this vision of this woman at a store. And I didn't know at first if it was just my own imagination creating this or if it was from the Lord. So I just decided to share it with everyone.
So I felt like the Lord was also telling me to look for a woman at a store. I felt like He was impressing upon me to look for a woman of peace, and specifically He brought to mind the woman Tabitha from the book of Acts. I felt like we were looking for a woman who is a discipler, doing the Lord's work, and I also just felt like we were looking for this woman who has a spirit of generosity. Tabitha was known for making clothes and giving them to widows in their time of need, so I felt like we just needed to go look for a woman somehow related to clothing.
So I had this thought that I was supposed to be dressing more conservatively, but to dress conservative, you have to go buy new clothes.
And so yeah, in the listening prayer, I needed jeans too, but at first I thought it was just my flesh because I really wanted jeans, but after 3 people said that they saw shop and clothing and jeans, I was like, okay, maybe it is my spirit. So I wanted to get some jeans because A, I needed jeans, and 2, I think the Lord wanted me to get jeans.
Sounds like we're going to the mall.
So as we were walking through the mall, there was a store and I was just so gravitated towards it because the dresses were so cute in the window and I just had to touch them. Even though I couldn't buy them, I just wanted to go look at them. So after staring at the window for about 5 minutes, I decided to just go in there and just look at the dresses. And while we went in there, the lady who worked there, her name was Maggie, and she was just really gravitated towards us, which was so cool because then she started asking us about what we were doing and why we only have 5 pairs of clothes for the last 7 months and why we're living out of a backpack and why we would want to leave America. And then she just really was so interested in our faith and just opening up and just listening to us. And then she was talking about how she's been wanting to go to church, but she hasn't had that confirmation yet, and how Natalie, the mall manager, was the first one to encourage her to go to Emmanuel, which Emmanuel is the church that we are going to the next day. So it was really cool because we got to encourage her in inviting her to church, and then we got connected to Natalie, the mall manager, who actually was giving her clothes during her time of need.
2 days later, Nicole and I go back to the mall to look for Natalie, the mall manager, and we found her and we tell her about who we are and what we're doing, and we tell her about Tabitha, the story in Acts, and how Natalie was Tabitha. And she started crying. She was so overwhelmed with gratitude that she could be that for someone, even if she didn't know anyone was paying attention. And we tell her that we're looking for contacts, and she freely gives information about people in Walvis Bay who we had actually already been planning to visit, from both the Swakop Moon Baptist Church and a contact that Willie, our host in Botswana, gave us.
So this is just an amazing story of how God speaks to each one of us through prayer, and how he so intentionally spoke to each person on our team that day to guide us to the exact woman that he wanted us to speak to in Swakopmund. We just have seen so much of the Lord's provision through just the people he's placed in our path every single day of Unsung Heroes, and I hope that these first 2 days give you a little bit of the idea of how our month has gone.